Hey everybody, great to be here. Great to see you all. And we're going to talk during this panel a little bit about brands, how they are coping this evolution, this revolution. So please guys, take a minute to introduce yourself, what's your connection to this world and to brands.
Okay, thank you guys. My name is Gabi Guedj from Ness Technologies company in Israel. I have about 25 years of experience operating contact centers for customer service and customer support in global markets, especially for IT companies in Israel. And first, I'm glad to be here and to be invited to this panel. So I will, from my point of view, will show and present the operational view of the customer side using Chatbot. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Nitzan. I'm in my 12th season with the Maccabi Tel Aviv basketball club. In sports club, we talk in seasons, not in years. First 11 seasons, I served as a media and my communication director. And in this current season, starting last September, I'm the marketing and branding manager of the club. And I'll tell you also a little bit about how we use the chatbots.
Hi, my name is Bozena. I'm CEO and co-founder of GAMEE. GAMEE is a consumer brand, so that's one of the perspectives. And we're also working with other brands. What GAMEE does is that we connect friends in casual gaming challenges. And we use chatbots to connect people, and we use mobile web to stream games directly where people play, which means directly to chat. We have launched over 70 games across different messenger platforms, 2 billion gameplays, so we have a lot of data. We have worked with several global brands to launch their gaming content that is played in chat. Yeah, so that's about it.
Hi, my name is Noam Fine. I manage IM+'s offices in Israel. We specialize in AI voice experiences, so I guess I'm just a little bit different in this panel, focusing on voice, especially focusing on integrating voice AI experiences across telecommunication infrastructure, so working a lot with the telcos, with the carriers, and bringing these experiences that are more enterprise and business-oriented to the space.
And I'm Oded Lavie. As they said, I'm from McCann, Tel Aviv. I'm in charge of all the digital execution of my clients and making their dreams come true in technology, innovation, and other digital assets. So in the past 2 years, we've seen many brands enter the chatbot ecosystem with campaigns or products. What have you seen brands do, and have you seen something that made you go, wow, they really got it figured out, this is an amazing use case, amazing product?
Okay. First, if it's okay with you, I think that the most important thing that we need to remember as organization that would like to implement chatbot solutions and chatbot makers, that we have many of them here in the summit, I think that we need to understand that we have two main goals at each one of the organizations. The first one is the business goal, that we want to engage customers with organizations. So this is the first important goal, obviously to increase revenues for companies. This is one thing that we need to remember. The second one is the operational goal. And I'm representing the operational side, so we need at any organization to think and to look how to reduce cost in operation centers, but at the same time to keep them efficient enough to provide customer satisfaction while working with the customers. So by looking at these two goals, the business goal and the operational goal, we need to see how the chatbot solution that we would like to implement in the organization are helping us, the organization, to reach the business and operational goal. So some brands are okay doing that and some are not, because I think they are looking only at the business goal of the organization and not looking always on the operational goal at the end to provide a good customer service to their customers. So there are industries that are capable and doing a very great job by implementing chatbot, but I think that our industry that it's not, I think, the good way to implement currently chatbots based on the maturity of the technologies and maybe also on the customer needs. And this is a point that I think brands should think about, is about the customer needs and provide a chatbot solution based on customer needs.
Thanks. I can tell you how we are using it in Maccabi. We are very happy and thrilled to use the chatbots. We're working with the Pico platform. They came with us with some very nice technical solutions. Well, we're using the Facebook Messenger, and it's allowing us two very important things. First one is we get to talk directly to our fans. We have 237,000 fans on Facebook. And the second one is helping and promoting our sponsors and our business partners. And we're doing it easily with the platform. Also in our home games, inside the arena, we're doing it in the huge scoreboard, in the Jumbotron. And also during the week, we're using all our social media platforms. I can give you an example or two. First one, during the game, we have at the end of the game, we vote for we're choosing the MVP, the most valuable player, and it's sponsored. He gets a nice, very nice, huge screen. It's sponsored by Samsung today. So he gets the TV. But in the past, all the sponsor got is, his logo on the screen, maybe a small mention by the PA announcer at the end of the game, MVP of Samsung, and that's it. Now with the chatbot, with the new technologies, the fans in the arena, they get to vote for using again the Pico platform. They getting to vote for the MVP, and like this, everyone is happy. I mean, the sponsor gets much bigger exposure because during the game, we're putting it on the screen all the time. We're showing how the results are changing according to what the fans are voting. And the fans, of course, are into it because they're part of the process, and by themselves, they get to vote for the MVP. This is one example inside the arena. And another one is we're doing it during the week. I mean, before home games, we're holding a nice trivia contest. Now, we're posting the trivia on Facebook, and it's a big but, the questions itself, you get it on the Messenger. Again, we're using the platform, so you get personally the question. Not an easy one, by the way. I got to write it. Sometimes even Google itself can't help you. So you get the message on Messenger, you get the question, you get some nice graphics, some 4 or 5 choices, and you get to choose. Of course, the winner gets, tickets for a big EuroLeague game, but the best thing that each participant gets at the end a link. He gets a link where he can buy a discount ticket for a game, a discount in our merchandise store, and we can also like to do it with some of our sponsors. So again, that way, everyone is happy.
What are the numbers you were seeing on your chatbot?
Well, we just started it, lately, but it's very nice numbers. I mean, it's a couple of thousands, and you get it online, couple of thousands, but it's getting progress really fast.
Thanks.
So in the past years, I think we have seen brands giving more focus and attention towards engagement as KPI. So understanding that it is important over a longer period of time to stay somehow connected to their audiences. And we have seen brands building microsites with engaging content, either customized apps. Then we have seen brands investing a lot of money into acquiring fans on their Facebook pages, right? And then over a period of time, it was clear that this is something that's not going to work over time, because also if you follow the news of Facebook, the organic reach of individual posts from brands is getting harder and harder to get. So now brands started looking into how else can we do it, how else can we deliver the content so that we engage people. And of course, when you look at the data, people downloading less individual apps while spending more time with those they already have, it was only natural to look at messaging apps as the place where the content can be delivered. So I have seen some companies doing really well in the past. They were one of the first ones to pilot, let's say, engagement through messaging apps. We have partnered with some of them, just to name a few. So I think especially on Kik, there was companies like Sephora or Victoria's Secret. they opened a bot channel that was combining like product recommendations together with stickers and gaming content that we partnered on. So it was not purely to go after selling people, but also staying engaged and getting followers, updating them around news about the brand. Also, a very strong platform doing really great things in that is Viber. We have seen brands like FC Barcelona getting 5 million followers on Viber, which for them is a channel to stay in touch with fans of the brand, distribute content, get the engagement. I think they also launched stickers, which is something that's super popular in messaging apps. They got like 10 million sendings of the stickers within the first week. So these are amazing engagement numbers that happen inside messaging apps, and I think we will see more and more how brands will tackle this, because people do spend time there, so it's only natural.
So I can offer a short answer or a longer answer. Short answer would be that I actually haven't seen anything that I was really impressed by. I think a lot of the experience out there are pretty much similar. I did like, there is one example that I do like that is not a brand with a chatbot, it's rather a chatbot that kind of like turned into a brand. Quick disclaimer, I was advising them, but it's called the Champion Chatbot. It's the largest football chatbot on Facebook. And I think what they did really nice there and why it turned out to be so big is because they they truly understand their audience. These are fans that built the chatbot, and truly understanding the audience allowed them to expand the scope of what the chatbot covers to much more than game scores or information about the teams or leagues, but actually it covers anthems by the teams and anything around the ecosystem. So the experience is very, 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 very rich, very engaging. From a personality perspective and everything around the experience, this is something that I like, and I think the reason why it became successful. I also like, and that's kind of easy, Google's Assistant. It just works.
Gabi, you touched customer service, which is probably the first use case that every brand goes into. What's the best practice to start doing that? You talked about business goals, the operationals. If I'm a business, I have customer service, I want to reduce costs, I want to make my customer service better, maybe bring customer happiness. How would you advise a company, an enterprise, to start going in?
Okay, first I think the companies should ask themselves what kind of customer service I would like to provide to my customers, and I will answer to this question. Do I have only to provide service to my customers on the business hours, or should I provide a 24/7 service to my customer? I think that all of us, I hope, will vote for the second answer. When I'm trying to book, I'm just recently trying to book a hotel for my vacation in August, and during the daytime, I'm not able to make this reservation. And I would like to make it when I have my time available, which is at evening, at night, and on weekends. And when organization will understand that and will implement a chat that is available 24/7 and is capable to provide answers to the customer needs, then it will be a good solution. So to go back to your question, what is the best practice? First, I think to understand your customer needs. When they want to reach you, when they need your assistance, to understand the processes that are approaching you, and to start with very simple processes, not to go to everything. If you go from industry to industry, you can go, for the financial market, you can go for the travel and tourism market also, or to insurance markets. You have different processes that you can start with, and to keep it simple, to design, to involve all customer-facing departments inside the organization together to understand what are the customer needs, to design the process, and to implement the chatbot solution. And don't forget to work with experts. Don't go for any solution, but find a solution that is working. Try to get some application from you, chatbot solutions provider to understand where it is already implemented, like maybe from the previous example in Maccabi Tel Aviv. So the first thing I will do is to ask my colleague, please tell me what is your story, your best practice by implementing the specific chatbot that you have implemented. And then, together with the customer-facing departments, to use analytics to understand on a daily basis, weekly basis, and monthly basis, the impact of using chatbot inside the organization for the process that has been selected by this customer-facing department, the workforce, to implement the chatbot, and to improve the chatbot for the same process that has been implemented, and then maybe to add other processes inside the implementation. So this is basically my view of how to better implement a chatbot solution from the customer service point of view.
Question for all, of course, now. Industry-wise, which are the industries do you think would benefit the most from adopting the chatbot system, the chatbot ecosystem, today, in a year, in 2 years? Where would be the most impact?
So that relates highly to our line of business. I think there is a huge opportunity right now for the telcos, which we work with. When you think about it, you see actually the tech giants, the Google, the Amazon, Microsoft, stepping into the space of AI and conversational. But when you think about actual communication, these companies have been around for ages. They are the backbone for communication. They essentially own it. And right now, they are just providing the data pipes for these companies to kind of like take over their business. For me, I think that the right integration of AI and conversational AI across all their channels, so whether it be text or voice, can create for them an opportunity to not only come up with sort of like Me Too solutions, like what we're seeing happening all over, but actually take the market, take the conversational UI opportunity, and become market leaders. And I think it's even bigger than that, because when we're looking at these tech giants, I think most people in the room probably don't see a disruption for these companies. I think the right integration of AI technologies for telcos could be that disruption, and I think it should be interesting if they get going the way that we think they should.
I would like to maybe touch a bit more on the customer service topic, because I think you take the conversation pretty advanced, like how customer service can work with chatbots, etc. But for me, I think the most important part is the step before it, and that means for the company being open and able to get customer service and open customer service conversation on more channels, because so far majority of companies is still not able to take a customer service request from Twitter or a message on Messenger. They would redirect the person to a phone line or an email, even though the person has already approached them on a different channel. So I think it starts even earlier, and to being willing to take and go into customer service on various different channels wherever the person is, and only after you can decide whether it's going to be human-led or bot-led, but the first step is very often missing.
Everyone is talking about customer service, which is great, but I want to give an example. We're trying to take it to the next level, not just customer service, but also take it use the chatbots to marketing, sales, and communication, and especially engagement. I can give you one more example. It's a really fresh one. We're going to launch a big campaign, which we're really proud of, with Nike, which is a global partner of ours, a great partner. Nike is our official gear suppliers. We're going to launch it today, depends when we finish here, or tomorrow, a big campaign. Do you know what basketball players love the most? Number one thing, the basketball shoes. They love basketball shoes. I mean, they have, professional players, they change shoes every game. Some of them, switch even during the game, halftime. So they really love the basketball shoes. And of course, Nike, which is our partner, are amazing, have so many models. All of them after, big NBA stars, LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Paul George, etc. And what we're doing now in this campaign, and again, it's connecting all the world. I mean, us as a big club, Nike, and the technology, the chatbots. What we're doing now is we are pumping now a big campaign. It will be a whole week. We're going to do it, again, we're using both words. We're going to do it on our social media platforms with the Pico platform during the whole week. And the peak will be next week, next Thursday night. We're having a big game versus FC Barcelona in Tel Aviv. And during the game, again, the fans will have, using the Facebook Messenger, will get, when we give the sign, they'll need to choose, and they will need to recognize every player, which model he wears. I mean, it's not easy, like, let's say, our star player, Jackson, he's a freak of shoes. He's been in Israel since the summer, and he already bought 200 pairs of shoes. 200 pairs in 6 years, roughly one pair per day, only basketball shoes. So they have, again, to recognize, and again, we're using the messenger, and we get a very, very big prize. The first one that gets to recognize all of them correctly gets to fly to New York City to watch an NBA game of the New York Knicks versus Golden State Warriors, a decent team with Omri Caspi. I believe we're the only place in the world we're saying Golden State Warriors with Omri Caspi and not Steph Curry. But it's, again, a big prize, and we're looking for the engagement, and that's the way we are mixing the world.
If I can add to Nitzan's point, I think that AI creates an opportunity to have some sort of like centralized development point where you can deploy these experiences that don't have to be only support across every touch point. So I think in general companies and brands should stop thinking about their customer service or support as just support, but allowing actual customers that approach them to jump from support to sales to marketing to information about the company, and looking at it as a centralized touch point where you can just build and add the capabilities of your chatbot, whether it be text or voice.
Great. So great answers, everybody, because it leads me to the next question. We talked sales, we talked customer support, games. If a brand starts now, you know, brands are big, they're heavy, huge departments, every C-level wants to be in the room. When they start their strategy, when they're starting to implement or just think about what they want to do, who should be in the room? IT, marketing, sales, customer support? Could it be that it's too many people and then nothing will happen? Who should do it?
Okay, thanks. As I previously answered to your previous question, I think that all customer-facing departments should be involved. I'm not talking currently about the level, if this is the C-level or directors or managers, but if your strategy is to increase your customer satisfaction, to increase your revenue by engaging your customers, so all departments that are customer-facing should be involved to share the needs of the customers, the pains of the customer that they currently have approaching the organization. It doesn't matter if this is sales, lead generation, customer service, or customer support, or any other customer-facing departments. So anyone should be involved, but to continue my previous answer, keep it simple. Think first about the department that you want to start with one or two processes you want to start with, and then by the analytics, just check what is the impact on your business and on the operational level also, not only on the business goals, and then continue to develop your strategy by implementing the chatbot on other processes and other departments in the organization.
I think somebody at the organization needs to start, right? Needs to kick off this project, even if it's cross-organizational. And typically, it is important to find that department, like Gabi said, or that person that feels the pain, that feels the need, where maybe ROI can be found, something that is a little bit of low-hanging fruits. So customer support. It's always good to be able to reduce on resources. Sometimes there is marketing need, but that person would be the one to push. And from there, definitely, it is a cross-organizational project, which makes it challenging. But somebody needs to push and to be the champion, and it is important to find either the pain point or a place that is especially lucrative for the company.
I would also invite the customers to test. We do a lot of user testing with different prototypes. Very often, and oftentimes we found out that, you know, the idea of you, like how you think the thing will be used and the reality are not the same. So I think it's just like good to put like quickly some prototypes working and just test it with the customers, because it might be different what customer service and marketers actually think is going to happen.
In the past 50, 70 years, brands have invested a lot of money and a lot of work into building visual assets, building logos, building their advertisement, building all their key visual marketing communications. And now we are entering an era when there are less visual assets. What do you think are the assets that brands should now say, okay, this is something we need to start building that will complement all our visual where there's no visual? Or
I can say. Well, I think there is some like trend, as you've described, that it was like a lot of investment in big hero content, and that happened a few times in a year. So they, like, brands would prepare big campaigns, let's say for 2 seasons in a year, and then they make sure everybody has seen it in a high frequency. So there was the idea of branding, and still is. When you look at social media and when you look at chatbots, the situation is a bit different, because you cannot simply make a hero content and spam people all over again with the same thing. But the idea remains similar. You want the brand to be seen in a high frequency, but you may need to prepare a lot of, like a series of smaller content that's quickly consumable, so you can have like a lot of it. So you can make the frequency over time, but with a lot series of smaller type of content. To be specific, you can do that with small games that engage people over time, so you can launch series of games as we've done with brands. You can look at sticker packs, emojis, you can look at smart videos, small videos, or the way as brands work on social media with visuals and posts that are not high cost of production, but they build a frequency over time.
So I think there are 2 elements that are important. First of all, I think that the visual aspect is still of importance, because when you talk to something, you still need to be able to imagine something in your mind. Who is it that you're talking to? I'm sure a lot of people here saw the movie Her. I think the movie works because when you hear her, then you imagine Scarlett Johansson. It's very easy. So it could even just be an icon. It could be an avatar of sort. But some sort of visualization needs to you need to have it in your imagination to be able to connect to whatever you're talking to. Second, I think, is building some sort of consistent personality, especially if you're focusing on one domain. That personality consists of the ability to have an opinion or something that sounds a little bit human to say about almost every question. You don't want to be stuck. You don't want to be very, very functional. You want to be to have your own opinion, or at least get a feel of personality. And I think this is also something that builds over time, just like us, like people, right? We're exposed to information and we develop our own opinion on it. These are the 2 elements that I think should be built over time to create that connection.
Something to add?
Maybe a small thing to add is regarding the visual aspect of the chatbot implementation. Please, for the chatbot makers, make it easy to understand that there is a bot. There is no sense to put a picture of a lady or of a man when I'm talking to a bot and I need to realize after 30 seconds that it's a bot. You need to understand what are the customer needs and what they would like to know. And at the first interaction, you have 10 to 20 seconds to ensure that the customer will keep engaged in the interaction. So keep it simple, make the customer to understand that this is a bot you are talking to, and if you analyze very quickly that the customer needs a human agent, then transfer it to human agent very, very fast. So regarding the visual aspect, I think this is one insight from my side.
We have some time for questions from the audience. Does anybody want to ask somebody something? Yes.
I think first, as I answered previously, don't put a picture of a lady or of a man. Just put a picture of a bot. This is my simple answer to you. This is one. Secondly, you can start with a sentence that's, hi, my name is Alexa, and I am your bot today to serve you, just for an example, okay? And you can also advise the customer to right away to be transferred to a human agent. This is a choice that you need to provide your customer. But this is my thought.
More questions? No? Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, all of you guys. Thanks a lot, Oded.